I never thought I'd be calling the police on my pregnant sister-in-law 3 weeks before my wedding, but there I was, watching officers arrest her for theft while my mother-in-law screamed that I was ruining the family. My name is Olivia Hart. I'm 29, and I was 3 weeks away from marrying the love of my life, Marcus. We'd been together for 4 years, and while his family had always been intense, I'd learned to navigate the drama. Or so I thought. The necklace in question was my grandmother's, a stunning antique piece from the 1920s with sapphires and diamonds that she'd worn on her wedding day. When she died 2 years ago, she left it specifically to me in her will. Not to my mother, not to be divided among grandchildren, but to me. I was her first granddaughter, and we'd been incredibly close. That necklace meant everything to me. I'd planned to wear it on my wedding day as my something blue. I'd shown it to Marcus early in our relationship, told him the whole story. He understood how much it meant to me. His family knew too. I'd mentioned it casually at a dinner once, explaining how honored I was to have it. Everything was fine until Marcus's brother Ryan got his girlfriend Stephanie pregnant 6 months ago. Suddenly, Stephanie was being fast-tracked into the family. They weren't even engaged, but my mother-in-law Linda treated her like royalty. The pregnancy changed everything. Marcus and I had been engaged for a year, wedding planning in full swing, when Stephanie started getting more involved. She inserted herself into dress shopping, venue decisions, everything. Linda encouraged it, saying, "She's family now. The baby makes her family." I tried to be gracious. I even asked Stephanie to be a bridesmaid, thinking it would be a nice gesture. That's when things got weird. 2 months before the wedding, Stephanie pulled me aside at a family barbecue. She was 5 months pregnant, glowing, and had that entitled air that some pregnant women develop. "Liv, I've been thinking about the bridesmaid gifts," she said, rubbing her belly. "I know you're probably planning something generic, but I think I should get something special. You know, since I'm pregnant, and this is such a significant time." I blinked. "Oh, I was planning on getting everyone matching bracelets from." "Actually," she interrupted, "I was thinking about your grandmother's necklace." My blood ran cold. "What?" "Linda told me all about it. It's a family heirloom, right? And since I'm having Ryan's baby, that makes me part of your family now. The necklace should stay in the family, and I'm literally growing the next generation." She smiled like this made perfect sense. It would mean so much to me to have it. For the baby. I stared at her. "Stephanie, that necklace was my grandmother's." "My grandmother? It has nothing to do with Marcus's family." "But you're marrying into our family," she said, her voice taking on an edge. "Things change when you get married. What's yours becomes ours." "Linda agrees with me." "You talked to Linda about this?" I asked, incredulous. "Of course. She thinks it's a wonderful idea. She said you'd understand. That family is about sharing and sacrifice." I took a deep breath. "Stephanie, I'm not giving you my grandmother's necklace. It's not up for discussion." Her face darkened. "That's really selfish, Liv. I'm pregnant. You're supposed to be nice to pregnant women. Being pregnant doesn't entitle you to other people's heirlooms," I said firmly, then walked away before I said something I'd regret. I told Marcus that night. He was horrified. "She asked for your grandmother's necklace? That's insane. I'll talk to Ryan." But when Marcus confronted his brother, Ryan just shrugged and said, "Steph's hormonal. She gets ideas. I'll handle it." Only he didn't handle it. Over the next few weeks, Stephanie kept bringing it up, at dinners in the family group chat, always with Linda backing her up. "Liv, have you reconsidered the necklace? It would look so beautiful on me at the wedding. I'm going to be huge by then. I need something pretty." "Linda, tell her. Tell her how important family heirlooms are." Linda would chime in, "Olivia, dear, Stephanie has a point. She's carrying my grandchild. That makes her very special. And it's just a necklace." "It's not just a necklace," I'd repeat, over and over. "It was my grandmother's. It's all I have left of her." "Well, your grandmother is gone," Linda said once, as if that settled it. "The baby is the future." Marcus was furious with his mother, but she was unmovable. She decided Stephanie deserved the necklace, and that was that. 3 weeks before the wedding, I had the final dress fitting. My maid of honor Sarah was with me, and we stopped by my apartment afterward to grab the necklace so the seamstress could see how it would look with the dress. I kept the necklace in my bedroom in a locked jewelry box that sat on my dresser. I had the only key, which I kept on my keyring. I'd been paranoid about it since all the drama with Stephanie. I unlocked the box. It was empty. My heart stopped. I started pulling out drawers, checking under the bed, tearing apart my closet. Sarah helped me search every inch of my apartment. The necklace was gone. I was hyperventilating. Sarah made me sit down, got me water. Okay, who has access to your apartment? Just me and Marcus, I said, my hands shaking. And my landlord, but only for emergencies. When's the last time you saw it? 2 weeks ago. I checked on it after Stephanie made another comment about it at Sunday dinner. Then something occurred to me. Marcus had his family over last week. I was at work. He said his mom needed to drop something off, and he let her in because he was in the shower. Sarah's eyes widened. You think Linda took it? I don't know. The box was locked. She'd need the key. We called Marcus immediately. He rushed home, equally panicked. He called his mother while I called the police. Linda's response to Marcus was telling. Why would I take Olivia's necklace? That's a serious accusation. Not I didn't take it. Not, that's terrible. How can we help? Just deflection. The police arrived and took my report. They asked if anyone else could have accessed the apartment. I explained about Linda being there, about Stephanie wanting the necklace, about the whole situation. The officer, a middle-aged woman named Officer Chen, raised her eyebrows. And this box was definitely locked. Yes. I'm paranoid about it. The only key is on my keyring, which is always with me. Could someone have made a copy? My mind raced. I keep my keys in my purse. But I stopped. At the engagement party 4 months ago, I left my purse at Marcus's parents' house. Linda said she'd keep it safe for me while we were outside taking photos. Officer Chen nodded. That's enough time to make a copy of a key. They went to talk to Linda and Stephanie. Marcus, Sarah, and I waited in agonizing silence. 2 hours later, Officer Chen called. Miss Hart, we'd like you to come to the station. When we arrived, I saw Linda and Stephanie in the lobby. Stephanie was crying, holding her belly dramatically. Linda looked defiant. Officer Chen led us to a private room and placed an evidence bag on the table. Inside was my grandmother's necklace. Where did you find it? I gasped. In Stephanie's bedroom. Specifically, in her jewelry box. Officer Chen looked at me seriously. Stephanie claims you gave it to her as an early bridesmaid gift. That's a lie. I said. I told her repeatedly she couldn't have it. We know. Your fiancé confirmed your story, and we found something interesting. She pulled out another evidence bag with a key. This was in Linda's purse. It matches the key to your jewelry box. Linda claims she doesn't know where it came from. Marcus looked sick. Mom made a copy of Liv's key? Officer Chen continued. Based on the evidence and testimony, here's what we believe happened. Linda made a copy of your jewelry box key at some point, likely when she had access to your purse. Last week, when she was at your apartment, she used that copy to unlock the box and take the necklace. She gave it to Stephanie, who believed Linda when she said you'd agreed to give it to her. I never agreed. I said. Stephanie's claiming she thought it was a gift. But Linda... Officer Chen paused. Linda isn't denying she took the key or that she entered your apartment and took the necklace. She's claiming she had a right to because it's wrong to let a family heirloom go to waste on someone who doesn't appreciate family. I felt like I'd been slapped. She admitted it? She admitted to accessing your apartment and taking the necklace, yes. That's burglary and theft. We're charging her with both. What about Stephanie? Marcus asked quietly. That's complicated. If she genuinely believed it was a gift, she's not guilty of theft. But receiving stolen property is still a crime. Right now, we're holding off on charging her pending further investigation. In the lobby, we found Ryan holding Stephanie while she sobbed.
When she saw me, she pointed.
This is your fault. You're pressing charges against Linda while she's about to become a grandmother? What kind of person are you? The kind who doesn't let people steal from me, I said coldly. She was trying to keep peace in the family, Stephanie shrieked. The necklace should be in the family. I'm having a baby. It is in my family, I snapped. My family. My grandmother's family. Your pregnancy doesn't give you rights to my inheritance. Marcus, are you really going to let your fiancé destroy your family? Ryan asked desperately. Marcus looked at his brother with disgust. My mother stole from Olivia. She broke into her apartment and took something that didn't belong to her. That's not Liv destroying the family, that's Mom. She's pregnant. Ryan kept saying like it was a magic word that absolved everything. I don't care if she's pregnant with triplets, I said. Theft is theft. Linda was released on bail the next day. She immediately started a campaign to paint me as the villain. She called every family member, every friend, crying about how I was having her arrested over a necklace and destroying the family right before the wedding. Half of Marcus's extended family sided with her. We got calls, texts, messages saying we were being cruel, that Linda made a mistake, that I should just drop the charges and be the bigger person. Marcus's Aunt Carol actually said, "Can't you just let Stephanie have the necklace? Is it really worth all this?" Yes, I said simply. It is. The worst was Marcus's grandmother, Linda's mother. She called me and said, Linda told me you're trying to send her to jail. How could you do this to her? To our family? She was just trying to help Stephanie feel included. By stealing from me? I said. Oh, theft is such an ugly word. She just relocated it. I hung up on her, but not everyone sided with Linda. Marcus's sister Emma called, mortified. Liv, I'm so sorry. What Mom did is inexcusable. I'll testify if you need me to. This is insane. Marcus's dad separated from Linda immediately and moved into a hotel. He called Marcus, apologizing profusely. I knew she was obsessed with that necklace situation, but I never thought she'd actually steal it. I'm so sorry, son. The wedding was in 3 weeks. Half the groom's side was threatening not to come if I pressed charges. Marcus was devastated, caught between his family, and doing the right thing. We sat in my apartment one night, him crying into his hands. Maybe we should postpone the wedding. No, I said firmly. I'm not letting your mother's theft derail our life. We're getting married as planned. But my family, the people who matter will be there, I said. Your dad, Emma, the people who understand that what Linda did was wrong. Everyone else? They can stay home. I can't believe she did this, Marcus whispered. My own mother. I know, baby. I know. The preliminary hearing was 2 weeks before the wedding. Linda's lawyer tried to argue that it was a family dispute that should be handled civilly, not criminally. The prosecutor, a sharp woman named Ms. Delgado, shut that down immediately. Mrs. Hart-to-be did not give Linda Grant permission to enter her apartment or take her property. Mrs. Grant admitted to making a duplicate key without permission and entering the apartment when Ms. Hart was not home. That is burglary. She then took property that did not belong to her. That is theft. This is not a family dispute. This is a crime. The judge agreed. Linda was formally charged. Her lawyer negotiated a plea deal. Linda would plead guilty to misdemeanor theft, pay a fine, serve probation, and issue a formal apology. In exchange, the burglary charge would be dropped. I agreed to it. Not because I forgave her, but because I wanted it over. I wanted to get married without this hanging over us. The apology came via her lawyer. It wasn't sincere. It was clearly lawyer-written, basically saying, I'm sorry for the misunderstanding regarding the necklace situation. No acknowledgement of breaking into my apartment. No real remorse. But I had my necklace back. That was what mattered. The wedding was small. About half of Marcus's family showed up, the half that understood what Linda had done was wrong. Stephanie and Ryan didn't come, obviously. Linda wasn't invited, even though she sent a long email begging to attend, saying she'd learned her lesson and just wanted to see her son get married. Marcus's dad walked him down the aisle since Linda couldn't be there. It was actually beautiful. I wore my grandmother's necklace. It caught the light during our vows, and I felt her with me. That was the whole point, having her there in spirit, wearing something that connected me to her love. At the reception, Marcus's Aunt Carol, who'd been on Linda's side, pulled me aside. I owe you an apology. I talked to Emma, heard the whole story. What Linda did was wrong. I'm sorry I didn't see it at first. Thank you, I said. That means a lot. For what it's worth, she added, Linda's been making excuses her whole life. Someone needed to hold her accountable. You did that. After the wedding, the fallout continued. Stephanie and Ryan's relationship fell apart. Turns out, when you build a relationship on entitlement and enablement, it doesn't last. Ryan eventually admitted that Stephanie had been pressuring him to get his mother to steal the necklace, that she'd been obsessed with it. They broke up when the baby was 4 months old. Linda, ironically, barely sees her grandchild because Stephanie doesn't want her involved. Apparently, once Stephanie realized Linda couldn't just steal things for her anymore, their alliance crumbled. Marcus's parents are divorced now. His dad said Linda's behavior with the necklace was the final straw in a pattern of manipulation and boundary crossing he'd been ignoring for years. Linda sends occasional emails trying to reconcile with Marcus. He doesn't respond. He told me once, she showed me who she really is. Someone who would steal from my fiancé, lie about it, and then play victim when she got caught. I can't have that in my life. We've been married for 8 months now. The necklace sits in a safe deposit box at the bank. I'm not taking any more chances. I take it out for special occasions, and every time I wear it, I think about my grandmother. She would have been proud of me for standing up for myself, for not letting anyone, family or otherwise, take what was mine, for refusing to be bullied into giving up something precious just to keep the peace. Because here's what I learned. Some people will always think you're the villain for enforcing boundaries. They'll call you selfish, cruel, unforgiving. They'll weaponize family, tradition, pregnancy, whatever they can to make you the bad guy for not letting them walk all over you. But protecting what matters to you, whether it's a necklace, your peace, or your dignity, is never selfish. It's self-respect. And anyone who can't understand that doesn't deserve a place in your life, family or not. My grandmother's necklace stayed exactly where it belonged. With me, the person she chose to have it, the person who actually valued it for what it represented rather than what it was worth. And 3 weeks before my wedding, when I called the police on a pregnant woman, I wasn't being cruel. I was being clear. Theft is theft, and I won't be stolen from, no matter who's doing the stealing or what excuse they're hiding behind. Some lines can't be uncrossed. Linda crossed one, and I made sure there were consequences. That necklace was never just jewelry. It was my grandmother's love, her legacy, her trust in me. And I protected it the same way she would have, fiercely, unapologetically, and without regret.